Now, Makhele from Ogilvy, a very warm welcome to the Red Zone. Before we talk about some of the substantive issues, you look after strategy and planning within the group. Very briefly, for the uninitiated, what does that entail?
Strategy is really the planning of communications. So we try and understand what the problem is that the business faces, that our client's business faces, and we come up with a communication solution. For us, that solution is insights and connection points that really help enhance that solution, and that's how we brief creative.
And in a very cluttered and fragmented media environment, it's becoming more and more critical up front to get the strategy right.
Yeah, it becomes even more difficult to define exactly what is the right connection channel palette, so to speak, to be more selective because it's expensive, and to be more selective so that it can be more accountable, to be more selective so that you choose the platform and the idea that's going to deliver the right results.
One of those platforms you interestingly raise is the whole notion of cultural planning, and you suggest that brands need, with increasing frequency, to be more socially relevant. What in fact are you saying that brands need to do?
Well, you know, around the world, we're dealing with polarities, right? Religious polarities, gender polarity in South Africa, definitely. You know, women are trying to find their identity, or they're finding it, and so are men. So if you're a big brand, brands with a point of view, you want to be able to have the right insights that brings people together, no matter where they sit. So if you think about what Coca-Cola did with India and Pakistan, you know, bringing them together around a singular brand promise, it's that kind of cultural insight that actually elevates the brand and makes sure that the brand can actually live in spaces where people don't really get together. It's a human truth.
But if brands are going to be playing in that cultural, gender, sometimes even religious space, there is inherent risk attached to that.
Well,
how do you mitigate against that, or can you?
You actually connect with people when you get to the root of the stuff. So Dove, right? Dove talks about the issue that women think that women want to be beautiful. You know, whether you are thin, you're blonde, you're big, you're round, you want to be beautiful. So when the Dove campaign for Real Beauty was launched, actually you saw iterations where men were doing exactly the same thing, playing around with the content. I don't know if you know the Sketches campaign.
I'm well aware of it.
You know, the Sketches campaign says women inherently will find reasons to say they're not beautiful, but men actually inherently think, I'm beautiful, I could take George Clooney on. So it's that cultural insight that not only engaged women, but engaged men as well, because men participated. So the cultural insight is able to travel, and it stays longer. What it does do, the idea travels not only in connecting with different sets of people, but also in digital and social media.
For the rest of this interview, you can refer to me as George if you want to. The challenge in making advertising, brand communication culturally relevant, though, it has to be seen to be authentic. Often, a brand will try it, and it can come across as contrived.
Most big enterprises of late, I've seen Procter & Gamble is doing that, Coca-Cola is doing that, Unilever is doing that. They're looking at being the connected enterprise. They're looking at brands not just existing solely for the purpose of selling their products, but being relevant in the communities that they're in. So when they start to communicate, not only are they doing, they are believing, they are acting. So it's just from the bottom line, the business actually looks at itself. So Coca-Cola, for instance, takes care of water, not that their social responsibility will look good, because almost...
So it's got to be rooted in the DNA of an organization.
Yes. 80% of what you drink in that soft drink is actually water. So we take care of water because it aids the community, it aids the business, it's connected to the bottom line.
I'm glad you used the word connected, because one of the other criticisms of socially relevant advertising is that it's often done in isolation. So a brand will do its socially relevant advertising there, and it will do other advertising as well. Often that seamless integration is difficult to achieve. I'm assuming it's more and more important to achieve that.
It is more and more important to achieve that. In fact, that is what authenticity is about. It's at the heart of the business. If it's at the heart of what the CEO wants to deliver, it doesn't go to, you know, that old-fashioned style. You give it to corporate communications with minimal budget. Now it's at the heart of the business. It's at the heart of the brand. And when the brand communicates, it starts right from there and communicates relevantly. So I think the biggest challenge with corporate initiatives in the past is that they got the leftover budget. But what's happening now is that brands are speaking authentically about the issues that involve the brand and their consumers and their communities.
Now, Makhele, George thanks you for joining us on the Red Zone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.